What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our predictions for Week 5 in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, Week 5 is upon us, and we start off our predictions this week with Thursday Night Football. The Colts, the Broncos, both of these teams dealing with massive injuries. Nick, who do you got in this game?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Probably not going to be the most exciting game. We have both starting running backs hurt, and we don't know if Jonathan Taylor will be making this game. But even if we leave him in, I don't think it's going to make a difference. The Denver Broncos defense is very strong. They're playing at home under the lights, and I really believe that the Denver Broncos offense is going to start getting things going just like they did against the Raiders last week. I really like them this week, and I will be taking them over the Colts on Thursday night.
Thinking of both of Peyton Manning's teams at once, then we head over to Eli Manning's team, and that being the New York Giants taking on the Green Bay Packers at home for the second straight week. The Packers narrowly escaped the Bailey Zappi-led New England Patriots last week, but the Giants are on a roll. They're at 3-1. Taking a look at this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. The Packers offense isn't as explosive as it once was. They don't have Devontae Adams. They don't have Sammy Watkins. They're relying on Randall Cobb to figure out that he's not 40 years old, and also a running game that is going to carry them throughout this entire game. I think that the Giants put a quash on this running game, and they're going to make Aaron Rodgers beat them with the weapons he has. On the Giants side of things, I think this offense can score with the best of them. It is just getting Daniel Jones and all these gadget plays in the mix. Saquon Barkley cannot do it himself. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers in this game, but I'm taking the Giants at their plus 7.5.
Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills, and we all know this is going to be a blowout, but it's all depending on by how much, right? The Buffalo Bills offense has been really, really good at points, and then they've had their bad moments where they've let their opponents keep it close. I don't think it's going to be one of those games. I think the Buffalo Bills are really going to get out to an early lead. They're not going to let Kenny Pickett get going in his starting debut, and I really believe that the Buffalo Bills will be able to cover the spread this week.
Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Chargers are coming off of a narrow victory over the Houston Texans, and the Chargers just have not looked as good as they should. The fact remains that this defense has not clicked. They have not worked together. J.C. Jackson looks like he's getting absolutely exposed out there. We have not seen the same Khalil Mack that we saw in either Oakland or Chicago, for that matter. And the Chargers really need to start figuring it out. The first quarter of the season is basically over. They need to start figuring out what kind of team they're going to be. Justin Herbert can keep them afloat, but going against this Cleveland Browns defense, it is going to take everybody to be on the same page. I do not expect another 3-touchdown game from Austin Eckler, but I do believe that both teams will be able to put up points. I'm going to put my faith once again in the Chargers defense. I think they're going to be able to figure it out. They're going to be able to stop Jacoby Brissett late in games where it seems that he has the biggest issues. And I'm going to take the Chargers on the road with this W.
Next, we have the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars squaring off in a divisional matchup, and typically this is one of the worst games of the year, but things are a little bit different this year because the Jacksonville Jaguars are a legit team who are playing for what seems to be a division title this year, and them going up against the Houston Texans really should not be a problem. They're going to be at home. I really like all the young players that they've added over the course of the offseason, really stepped up so far, and I think that they're going to continue it this week. I do believe that the Houston Texans are going to keep it close, and I will be taking them at their plus 7.5 spread.
Next up, we have the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and the Bears have gotten off to a rough start, but they've somehow made it work. It's very interesting for a team that's only had 471 passing yards through 4 games is still somehow winning football games. Nevertheless, they take on the vaunted Minnesota Vikings, a team that is vying for a division title and possibly a Super Bowl shot. I think the Vikings are going to make light work of this Bears team. They're going to absolutely smother Justin Fields, and it's not going to be an easy day for this offense. I'm taking the Vikings by 1,000,000.
Next, we have the Detroit Lions taking on the New England Patriots. Now, there's a lot of question marks about this game right now. Will Mac Jones be playing? Will Amon-Ra St. Brown be playing? Will DeAndre Swift be available? We don't know, and all three of these players will have a massive impact on the end of this game. But as it stands, we can expect all three of these guys to not be there. I think the New England Patriots really will be helped out by the losses of those two big offensive weapons for the Lions. We're not going to see the Lions put up 40 plus points on the New England Patriots defense, who has done a great job against some of the best offenses in the league so far this year. It's going to be lower scoring, and I do believe the Patriots will be able to squeak it out.
Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New Orleans Saints, and you talked about the Lions putting up a ton of points. Well, the Seahawks won that game and put up almost 50 on the Lions. I do not see that happening once again. The New Orleans Saints defense is much stingier. They are much more stout, and they have veteran presence throughout this defense to really take hold of what is going to happen here. Taking a look at the receiving options, obviously Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, but Marshawn Lattimore is no joke. Tyrann Mathieu has started to find the fountain of youth. He is starting to get things going. This Saints defense is for real. Now they need to get the offense clicking. Can Alvin Kamara come back and be that guy? This is going to be an offense that is predicated on passing the ball deep downfield and using the running backs in play action. I fully expect the Saints to come out on top in this one, and I'm taking them at their -6 spread.
Next, we have another divisional game, the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets, and it's going to be interesting. Teddy Bridgewater will be under center for the Miami Dolphins. We're going to see just how well he can work with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And if we see anything like we got from him last week, I think it's going to be a pretty good outcome for the Miami Dolphins. The New York Jets overall have not played well. Zach Wilson did not look good in his return game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Miami Dolphins defense is legit. They know this team. They know Zach Wilson. And the defense for the Miami Dolphins will be the reason that they come out with a big victory.
Next up, we have an NFC South divisional matchup. The Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are currently reeling. They lost to the Green Bay Packers 14-12. They got absolutely shellacked by the Kansas City Chiefs. And now Tom Brady's getting divorced. So, with all of that rage and all of that anxiety hovering over this team, they're going to absolutely smoke the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons do not have a shot in this game. Doesn't matter if Jesus Christ was on this field, he would not be helping the Falcons with the rage that is going to ensue from number 12 in Tampa Bay. He might put up 50 on the Atlanta Falcons. Nevertheless, this is a team that is destined for greatness, and now they have the fire within them to get it done. I'm taking the Buccaneers at their -8.
Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Washington Commanders, and the Tennessee Titans have been coming on strong lately, 2-0, coming off that 0-2 start to the season. Mike Vrabel's really got his guys going, and that defensive front is legit. I think they're going to give Carson Wentz a lot of trouble. He's not going to have a lot of time to find his targets deep down the field like he likes, and I think if the Washington running backs do not step up, they're not going to have a shot in this one. I'm going to be taking the Tennessee Titans over the Washington Commanders.
Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Carolina Panthers. The 49ers showed out on Monday Night Football, and they showed why this defense is for real. The Carolina Panthers offense has looked anemic at best. Baker Mayfield has looked like he's honestly not even playing the same game as NFL quarterbacks. This guy has not been able to figure out this Carolina Panthers offense. Matt Rule has not done him any favors, and it seems like the Panthers are absolutely headed toward that number 1 overall pick. Nonetheless, the 49ers are in a spot where they can compete for their division, and I believe they're going to take this one pretty handedly. I'm taking the 49ers in this one.
Now we have the bird game, the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And the Philadelphia Eagles, as we all know, are the top team in the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals, they've been up and down. Kyler Murray seems to not be able to get it going this season without DeAndre Hopkins. He will not be there for this game. Hollywood Brown's going to be locked up by Darius Slay and James Bradbury. I don't see anything good coming from the home team in this matchup. Philadelphia will run away with it in Week 5.
Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Los Angeles Rams, and When the schedule makers saw this game, they were like, this is going to be incredible. Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, we're going to see some absolute fireworks. Well, Dak Prescott won't be playing in this game. As Jerry Jones has already said, he can't even grip a football yet. So that's out of the window. And then on top of that, the Los Angeles Rams are simply not the same team that they were when they won the Super Bowl last year. So taking a look at all of that and seeing what has happened, Cooper Rush is actually 3-0 in starts with the Dallas Cowboys this season. He has looked phenomenal, has not turned the ball over. We just saw the Rams get exposed on defense by Jimmy Garoppolo and company. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys in an upset victory in this one. I think Cooper Rush gets a nice victory under his belt, and we'll start that conversation of whether there's a QB controversy in Dallas.
For our Sunday night football game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be interesting because these are the two teams that are fighting for the division title this year. The Bengals being on the road, going into Baltimore, very tough environment, going to be very loud. And Lamar Jackson has been spectacular this year outside of that Buffalo game. I believe that Lamar Jackson will come back and perform like he did in weeks 1 through 3, and he's going to put it to this Bengals defense that really is not there. They are not going to be able to hold up and keep him contained all game long. I think the Baltimore Ravens will come out on top.
And finally, in our Monday Night Football matchup, we have an AFC West division rivalry. The Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. These two teams are vying for the division, and the Chiefs, if they can hang on to this one, will have a stranglehold over the AFC West. But the Raiders can get back into the divisional race with a victory on the road in Arrowhead this week. It is going to be one hell of a matchup. Josh McDaniels leading this Raiders offense, getting them in position. Devontae Adams going against the Chiefs for the first time since being a Raider. This is going to be one hell of a matchup. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in this one, but I'm taking the Raiders +7. This is going to be a very close game.
I actually see it that way. The Raiders have not been that good. They struggled with the Denver Broncos, who are also pretty bad. Kansas City Chiefs are just looking too good right now, and being at home in that crowd, the loudest stadium in the NFL, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will run away with it.
All right, well, I want to hear from you guys, so let us know in the comments down below what you think of this week, which teams are going to win, which teams are going to lose. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.